Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, a show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today I want to just talk about a piece of music that I think is kind of one of those pieces of music that just kind of transcends the game. It's very odd for me to be talking about a mobile game. As you can see on screen, I've got the Jetpack Joyride, the main theme. In my opinion, the best piece of music I've ever heard in a mobile phone game. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video now might seem a bit random. I watched a video from the original designer recently talking about how he made the game and talking about the music, and I kind of have to agree. I've only played a few mobile games. I don't really enjoy mobile games, but this piece of music is phenomenal, and I think it's just so... It's one of those pieces of music that just has a melody that is so easy to remember. It's very easy to hum. I'm just going to play like 30 seconds to a minute of this track, and then we'll rewind and kind of go through like what I think about it stands out. So let's hit it. Already in 40 seconds of music, there's so much going on, there's so much there I want to talk about. The first thing with this track is very obvious what the melody is. Again, like I always say and have been saying a while now, if your melody is easy to follow, then the listener will remember that melody a lot easier than if it's super complicated. It can be complicated as a melody, but just think like, you know, everyone knows the Tetris theme, everyone knows the Mario theme, because like the beginning of those tracks are very straightforward, right? So Mario is just da 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 da, and then off it goes. Tetris, same sort of thing, where it's just like da 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 da, like it's easy to follow. Same here in the case with Jetpack Joyride. The main sort of melody that plays is that ba ba da ba da ba da ba 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 da ba ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba. It just keeps bouncing along. What makes this track is that melody is repeated multiple times. That keeps going, and then there's just things around it. And you'll see in that 40 seconds we have like your part A and then your part B part of the track. In part B we get a lot of space in the music with a lot of these little flares that kind of just add to it. So if we go back to the beginning, so we'll do this in sort of 10-second increments, I guess. So the first sort of 10 seconds of the track is straight in the game. You smash through the wall, you're straight in, you get the melody hit straight away. So what's cool there is you have the melody kicks in, and then you have the little piano part, then it repeats, then you have the little piano part again, and then it changes. So already you'll hit, first 15 seconds you'll hit with, this is what the melody is, this is the style of it. Then this track has elements of like, you've got the drums. Drums aren't particularly complicated, to be honest, they're just keeps it pretty much the entire track. But those jazzy elements of it with the piano, because obviously the main melody is like a synth of some kind, bit of piano, and then you hear, as we go into the second part, we're just going to bring it back one more time, just listen to the melody, piano, melody, piano. And then there's the bass underlying, which sounds, whether it was, probably wasn't, but it sounds like a double bass that leads into the next section. So you can see the difference now, not having that main melody be like the driving force. Like that drive is gone, so that opens up space in the track. So that's why the piano is kind of more like doing the jazz thing going on and playing, What's cool though is the jazz, the weird like ow on the guitar, and then the fake horns, which sound like fake horns. So I love that kind of change. So because the game itself gets more and more intense as you play, the music kind of goes intense, less intense, intense, like throughout the whole thing. But if we go back to like here and listen, you've now got the piano coming in. Ready? Chill. And then that sort of repeats again. And so that section is kind of like, it's the dynamic of the track. It's the idea that you straight away, boom, straight in comes from the melody, very hard hitting. Then we just have that break. We have a nice solo being played on the piano. Drums are doing what the drums are doing, just kind of keeping the things going. And then like little guitar like stabs, and then the horns, right? Because the thing about this track is it's building up until a point, and then we get to the end of the track, like those sort of like 10 to 20 seconds of the track, it gets nuts. So a little bit of build. And we're back into the main melody. What's cool about it is that not a lot changes. So you have your part A, your part B, which is like the piano thing, back to your part A with some additions, and now you're starting to see more layered on top of the track. So where you've had this synth playing, well now okay, here's more to it. Go back here a bit so you can just listen to this again. That build. The added brass there. You got the extra synth. A little break. The extra synth is adding a layer there. It might be in harmonies. It might just be like part of the chords. But what's really cool is it's playing. It sounds like it's playing something slightly different. It's not exactly the same, but you can hear like the harmonics of the whole thing. Like it just works really well. If we just go back to like back there. Yeah, slightly different notes to it. I don't know if you can hear in the background. There's this weird like a very high frequency sounding like synth that's playing like these like over the top. But I just noticed that actually. That's pretty cool. See if you can hear it. And you can hear it come out of this bit actually. I like that. That's something I've never noticed before, because usually when I've listened to this track, I'm just so involved in the melody. And bear in mind that, like I said, the melody isn't overly complicated. It's repeated twice. When you actually listen to what he's playing, because I always sing it like, if I'm humming the melody, I'm always going do 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 do. But there's a lot more of that sort of stuff going on with the melody in there. But it's subtle enough on my brain that almost doesn't need to hum it. But I love the fact that it is that slightly it's slightly more complex than I always remember it being. Anyway, if we go into this little breakdown here with the bass. And then we build in with the guitar. Build. Oh, so many clever little dynamics going on. Right, before we get to like the main bit, the reason why I like that section is it's subtle. Everything's subtle, and then boom, back in. Let's just Go back. For a track that's only 2 minutes long, it's so good. Right, so bass. Guitar. Let's build in. It's like... And it breaks again. There's so much space in this track. And then we get the final part of the track, which is, like I said, like last... Oh, it might be like slightly longer, maybe like 30 seconds or so of the track just going full balls to the wall. So it's built to this point. It's not actually, it wouldn't be called call and response, but the way that the melody's playing and the way that the brass plays in this, it's like the melody sets it up, going doop 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 doop, and then the brass goes bra 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 doop doop doop. Like, it's just something about this section. I'll get to the other point in a minute, but like there's something about this section I just absolutely love. Good melody, both synths, and there's the horns, that dynamic, and then the synth over the top, and it comes in at some point. There it is. One of the most impressive things about this track is how defined everything is. If you imagine a box, right? And inside that box, there's like you're almost placing the instruments. That's kind of how this track sounds to me personally. And like I think musicians understand this, or if you're somebody that knows how to mix and master, you almost imagine when making a piece of music like where you want things to sit. Like it's almost a cube more than a rectangle, because it's about how far back something is and how far forward something is. So it could be volume or panning and things like that. So in this track, the reason why I really like it is there's space. There's always some space. There's always something going on. There's always these little bits coming in from both sides. But there's a level of space, and that's really hard to do. But the reason why it works is the melody, for the most part, is at the front, but it's not the highest frequencies. So when the trumpets come in, they are pushed back a little bit. They're not as loud, and they sit on top. And the reason for that is because they're higher frequencies. What I want to do is I just want to I'm probably going to talk over it, but I want to play through the track. I'm going to play it from start to finish, basically. Just pointing out the space of the track and like where it sits to try and describe what I'm trying to get at here. So this is sort of middle downwards, right? It's all here and down. The piano is even at the front as well. So right now you've got like the spectrum, both headphones, all that sort of stuff. There's not much space. Right? Piano can play, and now you've got the space of the track. Nothing's too overpowering. There's the horns that are at the top there. But then when it breaks down, right now we go back into a little bit of a build, and then we go back into the main melody. Space. This is like here, nothing up here. And the trumpets come in. Space. Now you thicken that layer out. Now it's right at the front. So to try and describe this, by adding that extra harmony or that extra synth over the top of the original synth, you're thickening it out, and because you're covering more frequencies, but you're also keeping it, you're still keeping that space above it. I know this might sound a bit weird, but this is how when I've done mixing and stuff like that, I kind of like listen to how the creator has done it. I should probably point out that the composer for this is called Cedar Jones. Phenomenal. I think this is one of his first ever pieces of music he's ever created. I will definitely put a link to some of his stuff in the description as well. So yeah, now you've got the high part being played, which is filling that top bit. Now we're back down the bottom. There's nothing up here. And that's when we get to the end of the track, it gets full. Again, lower frequencies with the guitar. And that's pushed back a bit. The guitar's not too in your face. It's just there to be like making that rhythmic push. And you can see the equalizer in the background as well. It actually kind of helps. And now you got the bell lower end, and then the trumpets. So now you're filling that space with both top and bottom. But it never feels like it's overbearing. I genuinely, like, it is the best piece of music to come from a mobile game. Like, for me personally, like, I don't know how, it doesn't get any better than this. This is an incredible piece of music. This is in what I would call the modern classics. This is up there for me for, like, Megalovania and some of those other ones that have come out in the last, you know, between 2010 and now, rather than the actual classics from previous time. I just think this game, well, it's one of the few mobile games I liked, and this track is just ingrained into my brain. I think it's got a really good melody. I think there's the way the track is structured, the way that space is used in such a great way, the jazz influences, the rock, sort of like rock and jazz elements that are going on in there. It's such a great piece of music, and like I said, the composer's called Cedar Jones. I'll put some links in the description from on this video if you want to check out more of his stuff. He has done the Jetpack Joyride 2 theme, which is also very good. I don't think it quite hits the level of this, but I think this was like lightning in a bottle in the sense that this just slaps. Like, the combination of everything here just worked perfectly. But yeah, there's not much more I can say on this track. I just absolutely love it, and I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys today. Like, it's a phenomenal piece of music. Please go and listen to it without my talking over the top so you can appreciate the track to its fullest. But that is going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button. It helps out a ton. If you want to see more content, you want to see me do more talking about musical pieces from video games, please hit the subscribe button, because I've got plenty more of that where that's come from. And until next video, I will see you then.